Hey guys, my name is Haley, and today I'm going to be filming a book haul. I don't know what I'm going to be calling it because I've done a ton of book hauls in this past month, so we'll see what ends up happening. I've bought a couple more books since Book Outlet, and a couple more since all the tons of books I got before that, so I'm just going to show them to you. First book that I've picked up since that Book Outlet haul was Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I've been hearing nothing but amazing things about this book on both BookTube and from people in my real life, so I'm very intrigued. I think it's sci-fi-esque. I know this guy wakes up in a world where his wife is not his wife, his job is not his job, like he's just in some weird parallel universe from the sounds of it. And I'm really excited to read it. I'm probably going to be picking up soon, honestly, but yes. Next book I picked up was for our book club for a small group that I'm doing at my church with my pastor's wife, and that is So Long Insecurity by Beth Moore. We've already read the first 6 chapters of this. We're doing 3 chapters per meeting, which is every 2 weeks, which is fairly easy, and I'm loving it so far, to be honest. Like, I've been underlining and tabbing everything. It's basically about confronting your insecurities with biblical references and truths and all kinds of things like that. I would highly recommend if you are a Christian. Oshina, by the way, I think you would love this and I think you should check it out. I think it's just a great book for any woman to read, to be honest, because it's very focused on women, but it also focuses a lot on men. The next book I picked up because we went into Barnes & Noble and I wasn't gonna buy anything, but then, you know, you're just in those moods where you, like, need to buy a book when you're in a bookstore even if you didn't plan on it. That's what happened here. I've been hearing the guy from the Reading Roads, whose name I am forgetting and I'm so sorry, talk about the Dresden Files for the last couple of months, and it's intrigued me so much because he's been reading the audiobooks and he said they're amazing. And he reads a ton of, like, fantasies, so I'm actually really surprised that it's a series that he loves. There are, like, 13 books in this series, and probably more than that. And this is the first one, which I always see the later ones at thrift stores, but I can never find this first one, which is why I've never picked it up. I know that the main character's name is Harry Dresden. He is a wizard, and he's like a wizard detective, from what I can gather, which sounds incredibly interesting to me. So I'm very excited to get into this series. And I have heard the first couple of books aren't that great, but it gets better as the series goes on, so that's what I'm hoping for. And then I placed another thrift books order because I have no self-control, so the first of those that I picked up, for the reason I placed the order was because Lincoln in the Bardo, also from the same guy at the Reading Roads, has been raving about this. He said he did a review on it, he said it was amazing, and this was $4 on thrift books, and as soon as it popped on there I went, yep. Put it in my cart and then placed 2 other things in my cart and called it a day. I know that this is about Abraham Lincoln. I think it has a lot to do with his son's death, and it is set in a sort of afterlife or in between life and death kind of thing, and it's told from a ton of different characters' perspectives like that. Some of them will have just like one line, and the way that he explained it was just so interesting to me, so I immediately added it to my wish list and then bought it not too long after. Then the other 2 books that I picked up in that order was Horror Store. This was in new condition on thrift books for like $4 or $5, and a friend of mine read this last year and absolutely loved it. It's set up like an IKEA ad, and I've just heard it's super creepy, and I was in the mood for something super creepy. And then I picked up the last book in the School for Good and Evil series, The Last Ever After. This is way bigger than I was expecting it to be, but I've been slowly collecting these books, and now I have all 3 of them so I can just binge read the trilogy, which I actually kind of planned on doing kind of soon. And then last but certainly not least is my favorite book that I've already read and that I picked up in the last month, and that is Strange the Dreamer, which I had pre-ordered from Amazon and it showed up on the day its release day, and I've already read it. That was a couple days ago. It's amazing, highly recommend. I've already talked about this a ton in my last video, so there are a couple. There are the books I picked up since my last book haul. Thank you all for watching, and I will see all of you guys next time.